the 4-step sales pitch. People have been looking for this, and the reason why is because this is not, we're talking about the ATM business right now, but this works for many businesses, most businesses. The first step is to ask questions. So let's just imagine with me, you're calling or you're walking into a business. We don't know if they have an ATM yet. You don't see it, but that doesn't mean they don't have one. They might have one coming. It might be in repair, right? So you need to find out their situation. You can do as much pre-research as possible, visit there earlier before, Google them or something like that. But you want to have the information before you can actually pitch. First question is, do you have an ATM? Okay, a lot of times, if it's not visible or if you're calling, that's going to be your first question. If it's obvious that they have one, you can skip that one, If they say they don't, next question, ever thought about getting one? What are they going to say? Yes, no, maybe so. If they say yes, then we can continue, right? If they say no, then we can continue. We can break down the benefits, especially at cash places, barbershops, salons, strip clubs, casinos, etc., that might need cash, right, for their customers. All right. So, ever thought about getting one? If they have one already, are you happy with your current ATM service? Right. These are introductory questions that you want to be able to slide in before your sales pitch, because you need to find out a little information. All right. Do you make money off yours, or are you paying for it? Now, you don't want to get in too much detail about what you can offer yet. You want to see what their situation is. Are they paying for their ATM? Are they making kickbacks 20, 10, 15, 35% per transaction? Or is someone just offering a free ATM for them, so that they can make more money on the back end with providing their customers with more cash, right? All right. What kind of ATM agreement do you currently have? Now, if they say if they have an ATM and it's not theirs that they own, you can find out what type of agreement do you have. Is it free? Are you free? Are you paying for this? Are you getting any kickbacks? You can slide some of those in as needed, depending on the answer, so you can get an idea what type of agreement they currently have. As soon as you find out what type of agreement they currently have, if they have one, that's when you make your move. What if I can offer you a better deal? That is as far as walking into businesses with or without ATMs and being in the ATM business. What if I can offer you a better deal? Okay, so anybody that already has an ATM in their business, you can't offer them a better deal unless they're making 50, 60 cents per transaction. You can likely offer a better deal and replace their ATM. Okay, now keep in mind you're cutting into your profit, so you don't want to offer too much too early. That's why we're going and asking these questions. Also, if you have a limited amount of ATMs, right? You don't want to offer somebody 40 cents. Even though you're cutting somebody out, you don't want to offer 40 cents per transaction without going to make sure you can find someone that doesn't need any money per transaction. Okay, especially when your first couple ATMs, you need to be making sure you have the highest profit margin. For those lower profit margin ATMs, it's later on in the journey. Step 1 was to ask questions. Step 2 is to listen and evaluate. Not that you're asking them, but you're asking yourself as you talk to them. Are they taking you seriously when you ask these questions? Is now not a good time? Are you in the middle of a busy night at the bar and you're trying to talk to a manager or something like that, right? Maybe go to where it's a slower time. Are they a little or very interested? You can kind of read that when you start asking these questions. Are they kind of brushing you off? Are they really asking? If they're asking you questions, that means they're interested, right? And so what you want to do is listen and evaluate. Listen and evaluate helps you determine what questions to ask next, right? It also determines how to bring your pitch, all right? Do they seem super satisfied with what they already have? Now, you will run into this. They're like, okay, I'm good. I got it set up, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they just went through this whole ordeal last week with someone. And even if you offer a better deal, they don't feel like going through that. It's not worth the 10 cents per transaction that you're going to offer them better or whatever it may be. Just listen and evaluate. And it'll tell you what to say next. If they seem super happy, guess what? Just leave them your information. Tell them if you change your mind, give them your pitch anyway, right? Step number 3. So who are you talking to? I don't have any problem talking to somebody who works there. Find out how much they know. Maybe it is the owner. If soon as they start to kick back, they say no, then you can double check and ask for the owner. And if the owner's not there, not available, ask for the owner's contact information. When would he be available? That way you can come back and do this all over again. That way maybe you can call and do it from the phone. Now, when you do get a hold of the owner or the decision maker, maybe it's the manager or whoever makes the decisions, you can mention your benefits. Again, respond accordingly based off the answers and their reaction. You can offer a free ATM. You can offer a kickback per transaction. You can tell them that I'm gonna keep it field and operating myself, any type of repairs. If they get too rowdy and break the machine, just give me a call. I can bring you one in, I can replace the one you have, I can bring a new one in 10 days, right? So there's a handful of benefits. There's an ATM sign you can throw in. Now that's an expense that you're gonna have to cover, but you can also put that in your agreement and you can take that sign with you when you leave. So mention your benefits at this point. You've asked your questions, you listened to their answers, and now you're responding accordingly. Schedule a time to chat. If they're not ready to buy right there and they're kind of brushing you off or it's not a good time, let's schedule a time to talk. I can give you a call, I can come back tomorrow, the next day, next week, whatever it is, I'll put it in my schedule, I'll be there. When that time comes, you're gonna have your full sales pitch ready, because if they agree to that, that's exactly what they want to hear. They want to hear the details of what you provide them and how easy it's gonna be. Leave information. If you don't make the sale there, even if you do, really, you want to leave your business card, you want to leave your flyer and sales page. I say from the card because you don't want to just walk into businesses with papers, okay? It seems a lot more salesy. Go in there, look around, enjoy the establishment for a few minutes, and then say, hey, y'all got an ATM? Or what's your ATM situation? I'm an ATM mogul around here. So just bring it on a little bit less salesy, all right? And then when you leave, again, you can leave information, leave your info, If they tell you no, I'm fine with no's. No's turn to yeses in 2 or 3 weeks. So say, hey, well, I'm gonna leave my information with you. I can get you a better deal than what you got going on. I may come and check back on you in a few weeks. That's it. Come back and check on them in a few weeks, okay? So it's a great sales move. That way in a few weeks, it's not a cold call no more. They're expecting to hear from you at this point. Again, if they seem super satisfied already, we're going to leave them the information. We're going to tell them we tuck back in a few weeks, okay? Now, here's a bonus. Instead of saying sign this contract, I don't care if after they say yes or before they say yes, don't ever mention signed contracts. People are scared of that. All right, in this situation, since it's called a site location agreement, we can just say here, sign here to verify your agreement, right? I wouldn't even say sign. Once we did an agreement, we go over the details, I just say here, right at the bottom, just verify the agreement. That's a little sales tactic and it works. I just wanted to slide that in there. Okay, so that was the 4-step sales process. And it's very effective in any business that you do. And it's very simple. A lot of times it makes sales too complicated. Sales is about people interacting. And it's not really about your benefits, it's about the interaction, all right? So let's talk negotiation tips. Now these negotiation tips are with the owner of the site because there's a lot of negotiation you can do. You can negotiate with your service providers to get that percentage down. But in this situation, we're talking about the location. And again, find out if they're paying for an ATM. Once you've asked these questions, you'll know what to say back. So if they're paying for an ATM, you don't want to offer kickbacks. You just want to offer a free ATM, right? If they're paying a lot for an ATM, you can offer cheaper. If they slide in, hey, man, I'm paying $100 a month for this ATM. Tell you what, I can provide it for you for $20 a month. Again, find out they're getting kickbacks. And if not, don't offer any. Right up front, if they're not getting kickbacks, see if you can make the sale without offering kickbacks. Say they're paying $100 a month or $50 a month. Again, you can just offer it to be free, right? If they're currently getting kickbacks, if they're currently getting 10, 15 cents because they ran across another independent distributor Then you can offer a little bit more and just see what they say, okay? A lot of times they'll be under contract, but a lot of these contracts you can get out of. And you can explain how they can get out of the contract. You can also say when your contract's up, I'm right here with a better offer. All right, contract details are flexible and come after a yes. So this is a sales tactic as well. Don't go into too much depth of the details before they agree to do it. You know, I have a better offer. I have an ATM machine. I'm a business. That's pretty much all you need to know, right? Before they say, okay, yes, I'll do it. Then once you do it, we'll say, okay, so let's talk about the details, because the details are flexible. You know, I'm not going to tell you it's a year before the sale, because it might be 6 months, it might be a year and a half, it might be 2 years, it might be a 5-year term, right? So we make that decision later on after we agree on everything. Okay, it's a lot easier for them and you to come up with some of these side terms after the primary things have been agreed on. You don't want to give your whole sales pitch, give your details, yada, 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 and they're not interested. Offer less to inbound leads. Now this is the same strategy to, let's say, the people that are paying. The people that are inbound leads that are calling you, they're likely not satisfied with their current situation, whether they either have an ATM at all, but offer less to those inbound leads. You don't want to offer a whole lot of kickbacks and et cetera, et cetera. They're coming to you, find out what their pain points are, address the pain points, and get your ATM in their business, okay? And we'll talk about attraction marketing, things you can do to get inbound leads so you don't have to be going door to door if you don't want. You don't have to do the cold calling. You can show that you're an expert and that you're an ATM business and provide your information, and we can do it to where you'll be getting inbound leads.